Oh, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. RingsideReport.net, the online home for everything that we do. Go check us out. We've got so much content there. It's really, it's baffling. It's so much. There's so much going on. I'm always very busy over at RingsideReport.net. Johnny North, very busy. We covered a whole lot of stuff on Dave and Johnny Live this week. You can check out the YouTube show. A lot of YouTube exclusive stuff this week. If you missed our AEW coverage, last week we had the preview of Revolution on AEW on Dave and Johnny Live, and then we had the AEW Revolution watch-along that we did live with Revolution this past Saturday that you could watch on the YouTube channel right now. And we're also going to be live during Elimination Chamber, so check that out Sunday night from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. WWE's got another big event. It's the last stop on the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is 4 weeks away. The biggest event in sports entertainment, just 4 weeks away now, and we will be live during Elimination Chamber for the watch-along. Check us out. If you're listening to this on the radio, go to RingsideReport.net for more info. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that super chat as well when you're on the channel, when you're watching the Wrestling Uncensored premiere, or when you're watching any of our watch-alongs. We're very busy, and we appreciate your support, keeping us going, buying the pay-per-views. We got the UFC 248 watch-along going on as well. You can go check that out on the YouTube channel, watching UFC 248, big pay-per-view. Israel Adesanya, Yoel Romero for the middleweight championship of the world. Watching that pay-per-view with you. I'll be there. AJ will be there. Go check it out. We're very busy, Big Johnny. We're very busy.
Should be a great weekend for you because you got a lot of work to do. Me, I'll just try to survive the Elimination Chamber because it seems like that might be a rough pay-per-view to watch.
You'll try to survive the Elimination Chamber. What about the participants of the Chamber, brother?
It's such an easy match. Like, very cushy match now. Come
Is
on.
it? It's not as rough as it used to be, right? It used to be a lot rougher. The Elimination Chamber was a fun match, and what made it really violent and rough was the outside of the ring part, right?
Right.
It used to be outside the ring was this big metal, steel, whatever, grate thing.
Right.
And it was like the floor between the pods. There's 4 pods in a big giant cage, and there's the ring in the middle, and then outside the ring, there's these 4 pods, and then between the pods, to walk between the pods and to wrestle between the pods, there was this steel. But now, over the past few years, they covered up the steel with these mats, like, that are outside the ring usually,
Padding.
right? Padding. It's padding, and it makes the bumps way easier and, way less impactful. Back in the day, in the original Elimination Chamber, when you would take a bump on that steel, there was no give. You could see, guys would get cut up on their back from taking the bumps. They would be really messed up. You could hear the impact. It was vicious. It was violent. And you really felt like, okay, Elimination Chamber, somebody's going to take one of those nasty bumps. Probably more than one person is going to take a really nasty bump on the steel, and it's going to be a good old violent match, and they're really going to earn it, These days, the Elimination Chamber matches, as you say, they don't have the same appeal.
Well, also, you need, bigger guys, too, in this match. A lot of big guys in this match this year. For a tag match, maybe a couple, but for the women, they're not very big.
What about Heavy Machinery, brother?
Okay, but take them out?
Big E.
Yeah, but take him out? That's it.
Yeah. So, so the tag team match will be, there's 2 Elimination Chamber matches on this show. Elimination Chamber going down. This will be our Elimination Chamber preview here. We're going to preview Elimination Chamber. We have so much to get to here on Wrestling Uncensored. We're going to talk about AEW. We're going to talk about people potentially going to AEW, namely Luke Harper, Matt Hardy, and The Revival could all be heading to AEW very soon.
I hope so.
We have a new group in AEW, Triángulo de la Muerte, the Triangle of Death.
I think they just call it Death Triangle, but yeah.
Whatever. Cody is going to have a match on Dynamite. We're going to talk about what happened this week on Dynamite. Another great show. Jake the Snake Roberts showed up.
That was huge.
It was very cool, right? We're going to talk about Dynamite. We'll also tell you what happened in the WWE. The Street Profits are the new Raw Tag Team Champions. I want to try and talk about Eric Rowan's Mechanical Spider if we have some time. That was a big letdown of a reveal on Raw this week. And Elimination Chamber, that's, I think, first and foremost. But we also have some Brock Lesnar stuff. Brock showed up on Raw. He got kicked in the face. What does that mean? WrestleMania is 4 weeks away. There's a lot going on.
So
Very busy times here on the Ringside Report Network, Wrestling Uncensored Universe.
So I guess just start with the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. The last little thing to get out of the way, because it seems like it just, let's get this out of the way, because there's nothing else we would have to do before then. Everything else is pretty much set for WrestleMania, except these last little things.
Of course, the Elimination Chamber.
Not really that excited for it, unfortunately. I feel like they gave away too many good matches at Super Showdown. They have nothing left for this match, or for this pay-per-view.
Yep, they gave us the Universal title match, the Universal title change, Goldberg beating The Fiend to become the new champion. That happened at Super Showdown a couple weeks ago in Saudi Arabia.
Last week, actually.
Was it last week?
Yeah, it was already the last week of February.
Man, time goes by very slowly. There's too much going on, right?
Well, usually it's 2 weeks between a pay-per-view. Now it's 1 week, and you get another pay-per-view. It's crazy.
So they gave us that. They gave us Brock. They gave us The Undertaker.
Yeah, it's cool.
There's nothing left.
Well, you do have AJ Styles, Aleister Black, one-on-one, because we didn't get it on Raw, really. It was a gauntlet match pretty much instead. So we're actually going to get it straight up one-on-one.
Yes, it was supposed to be AJ versus Aleister on Raw this week, but then AJ decided that Aleister would have to face Carl Anderson. He beat Carl Anderson, and then he's like, okay, then you have to face Luke Gallows. And then he beat Gallows by disqualification when Anderson and AJ just started beating up Aleister Black. And then AJ's like, okay, now that you're all beat up, now we have a match. And then he just kind of hit the phenomenal forearm, and then he pinned him Undertaker style. He crossed his arms over him, and he did the thing. Right. He did the Undertaker taunt on the pin of Aleister Black, which, something's going on there with Taker. I think it's going to be AJ versus Taker one-on-one at WrestleMania. There was talk of a tag team match, but it seems like that's not going to happen because AJ's going to face Aleister Black in a no disqualification match here at Elimination Chamber. But maybe Taker shows up at the Chamber, helps Aleister, setting up some sort of tag team match for Mania.
I think it's a better match if you do a tag match, but I also understand a lot of people would just want to see a singles match, AJ versus Undertaker.
I think that's the bigger match. I think that's how you do it.
It's not the better match, but I think that's what people want to see in terms of the marquee, right? AJ versus Undertaker. So it's probably what's going to happen. Taker's probably going to cost AJ this match, which will help already set up a match that's pretty much already set up for WrestleMania.
If it is Aleister and Taker versus, say, AJ, Anderson, and Gallows,
right?
Because it's not going to be AJ and Anderson,
Right.
Who would even be the third man there in the team?
I could see Rey Mysterio. Why not?
He's involved in his own thing with Humberto and Angel Garza and Andrade, which I don't know if we're going to have time to talk about, but that match was awesome on Raw this week. I thought that was the best match on Raw. The tag team match there, Rey and Humberto getting the win over Andrade and Angel Garza. I thought that was tremendous stuff.
It was good. I mean, I think the Street Profits had the best moment, obviously.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was probably the best wrestling match on the show.
Yeah, Street Profits beating Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. The match was all right, but I thought the Rey and Humberto against Garza and Andrade was better.
Well, we're getting a rematch, right? But it's different. Andrade's going to wrestle Humberto, I think. Just one-on-one at the pay-per-view?
Yes, it will be Andrade defending his United States Championship, which you almost forgot he had.
Well, no, I never forgot, but they kind of just didn't really acknowledge it too much for a while.
Right. He's going to be defending against Humberto.
Finally get the title change that they've been teasing for so long?
I don't think so. I think Andrade retains.
Well, thinking about this, like, there's not going to be a lot of title changes on this show. So, I mean, this really is the only opportunity, I think, for a title to change hands.
Maybe. You don't think? I'm not sure about that.
What do you mean? Like, will you think the tag team titles in the Elimination Chamber are going to change hands?
No.
Well, then what?
Well, maybe, but probably not. But
so Braun Strowman? Like what?
No.
Where's the title change?
Street Profits.
Wow, I didn't think that one either. Wow.
Take it off to do a title change at the pay-per-view. They do it all the time.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
It's Seth. Seth is really going to lose twice to the Street Profits?
Doesn't have to take the pin.
No, but I don't know. I think Seth and Buddy are probably going to take the titles back at the pay-per-view. I think, they gave it to the Street Profits. They had their moment. They won the titles. But I wouldn't be surprised if they gave them back to Seth and Murphy.
I get that, but like...
I'm not sure, but yeah, I could see them doing that.
Right. It's just Seth had that promo afterwards challenging Kevin to a match anywhere, anytime. To me, that's kind of setting up their WrestleMania match. So why make him tag champion when he's probably going to have a singles match at WrestleMania?
I don't know. So he has a belt walking into the ring?
They do stupid things like that, sure.
Why did Goldberg win the Universal title?
Because it's spear versus spear. Like I told you, WrestleMania main event.
Right. Sorry.
Damn it.
You're right. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry. I should never have doubted you. Or Vince McMahon.
Right.
In your infinite wisdom. Yes, he knows what he's doing. Okay. He's got his finger on the pulse. So, Andrade defending the United States Championship against Humberto Carrillo. You think Humberto is going to win?
I think there's a good chance.
Pinche. I think Andrade is going to retain. All right? How about that?
All right.
I got Andrade. You're going with Humberto? Make a pick here, John. Get off the fence.
I want to say he's going to win, but it's tough.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. I want to say Humberto's going to win. I want to say Andrade is going to win. It's tough. I'm saying Andrade. Just give me a name, man. No one's going to make fun of you if you pick wrong. I don't care.
Well, I'd make fun of myself, actually,
okay.
if I got it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go with Andrade, too, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Just hedging your bets.
No, I'm just saying, I could easily see Humberto win this one, actually.
But you're picking Andrade.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot like how we saw what happened with AEW Revolution. I went with Jericho, but I could easily see Moxley win, and he did win.
So you were right?
No, I was wrong.
Okay. Okay. As long as okay, there you go.
Okay.
Well, on the other show that we do here, Ringside Report, AJ would never have admitted that. So I'm glad that you're...
Well, he says we're controversial, so whatever.
We are controversial. It's a very controversial show. So... you're picking Andrade along with me and the Street Profits here against Seth and Murphy. I'm going to go out and I'm going to say Seth and Murphy are going to win the Raw Tag Team titles back at Elimination Chamber.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be any title changes on this pay-per-view. I think they're going to save the title changes for WrestleMania.
Interesting. So you think the Profits retain?
I think Profits retain, and I guess that gives away the main event, or one of the main events, one of the Elimination Chamber matches.
So Miz and Morrison, who recently won the SmackDown Tag Team titles in Saudi Arabia last week at Super Showdown, right?
Right. It's a little too soon.
They are now defending those titles in an Elimination Chamber Tag Team match, which I will assume will be match of the night.
Really?
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
Well, I don't know.
New Day's in it, and the Usos are in it. I have a lot of faith in those guys. Lucha House Party, Lince Dorado, and Gran Metalik, those guys in an Elimination Chamber match are going to be espectacular.
They could be, but
muy bueno.
This could be a mess, too, though. That's a lot of guys in one time.
Yeah, but I think a lot of those guys work well in those situations. The Usos, the New Day, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado, very Lucha style,
Right.
Fantastic. I think it'll be good. Miz and Morrison, I think will be all right in there. Morrison in those multi-man tag team matches is very good.
He's been in the Elimination Chamber.
Dolph and Robert Roode, they're in there as well. They'll be able to hang. Heavy Machinery, they're kind of new. They're kind of younger,
Right.
They may have a little bit of a rougher time, but I think they'll probably get eliminated first, so whatever. Although Lucha House Party could be eliminated first as well.
I mean, you expect some cool spots, but in terms of a match from start to finish, I don't know if it's going to be that great.
I think it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. This is the match on the card that I might be looking forward to the most.
Really?
I like the New Day. I like the Usos. I like Lucha House Party. I like the Heavy Machines.
Okay.
I like Miz and Morrison as a tag team.
All right. Well,
I really do. I'm not a huge Miz fan like by himself, but with Morrison, it really works.
I guess I'm just thinking last year where I felt the Elimination Chamber matches kind of dragged. So,
But look at the players in this match, man. There's some really good teams here.
there's potential, and there's been a lot of potential in a lot of past Elimination Chambers, but sometimes it's just a mess.
Is this Robert Roode's first Elimination Chamber match?
It's very possible, yes.
There you go. How about that? Peterborough's own Robert Roode.
He's not gonna win though.
Him and Dolph? No, they probably won't win. I think Miz and Morrison will retain in this match. I think they wind up keeping their titles to WrestleMania, and then they probably have another match with a combination of these tag teams at WrestleMania.
It's kind of rough when you go from this huge match where you have all the teams, and then like 4 weeks later you got to go to the biggest event and try to top what you just did. It's kind of weird. Horribly booked, actually.
Yeah, well, for the SmackDown Tag Team Division, this is the WrestleMania match.
In a sense, well,
Because you got to be looking at, on 4 weeks from now, maybe Miz and Morrison as the champions might get something, but everybody else in this match, you don't know.
might even just make pre-show the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
Yeah. The match won't be as big or as impactful at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Tag Team titles as it is here, where it's in an Elimination Chamber, right?
Well, that's it. It's the bigger match. I'm surprised you do it right before WrestleMania. What do you do for WrestleMania?
Well, what do you do for Elimination Chamber if you don't have this?
I just probably would have put different people involved in this.
I don't understand why Roman Reigns didn't have to wrestle some sort of Elimination Chamber match to get a shot at Goldberg. There were rumors that there was going to be some sort of 6-man Elimination Chamber match with the winner getting a Universal title shot at Mania, but instead, they just chose to have Goldberg walk out after winning the title the next night on SmackDown. Roman Reigns shows up, says, "I'm next," and Goldberg says, "Okay, why don't we point at the sign together?"
Right. Well, it was kind of obvious that was going to happen, right? Doing the point, Roman and Goldberg. Why go through a match where you knew it was going to happen? You have that with the Raw Women's Elimination Chamber match. You know it's going to be Shayna, right?
Yeah.
So why have 2 matches where it's obvious who's going to win?
Why have any? Why have any match where it's obvious who's going to win? Why? I mean, it's predetermined. You're booking things. Why ever have a match where it's obvious who's going to win?
Well, because it's fun to watch, no?
It's more fun when you don't know who's going to win.
It can be, but it's still fun to watch even when you know who's going to win. Because you know it's going to be entertaining to watch. Because this kind of match can be a lot of fun, potentially. Doesn't always live up to the hype, unfortunately, but it can be really good. It can be one of the best matches you see all year, actually.
So we agree that Miz and Morrison will retain in the SmackDown Tag Team Chamber match?
Yes.
You think that the Women's Elimination Chamber match will be one of the best matches you see all year?
It could be, yeah, sure.
Okay. It will be Sarah Logan, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan.
Right.
And then Asuka, Shayna Baszler, and Natalya. Did you watch the Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott match on Raw this week, John?
With Sarah Logan as the ref,
With
right?
Sarah Logan as a special guest referee. Because we're supposed to know and care that Sarah Logan is somehow torn between Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. The Riott Squad was not a group that was cared about or existed long enough for people to care that Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott have some sort of feud. Unknown feud as well. No one really knows why Ruby Riott came back and decided to attack Liv Morgan after Liv Morgan had been involved in this feud with Lana over Lana.
Right.
Because, and this is where it gets even more weird. So, what is happening in the WWE these days? Like, Raw, what is going on? So Lana left her husband Rusev, her real-life husband Miroslav Rusev. She left Rusev for Bobby Lashley. Storyline. Not real, right? On Raw. This is what happened. Mm-hmm. And then it was Lana's wedding, and Liv Morgan comes out, and she's like, how could you do this, Lana? We love each other. They apparently had been going in some sort of relationship. Lana and Liv Morgan, and Liv was really mad, so she interrupted the Lana and Lashley wedding. And then Liv Morgan and Lana have a series of terrible matches on Raw, and at some point Ruby Riott returns from injury and attacks Liv Morgan for no reason in particular.
Well, I guess because she changed, and she doesn't like how she changed.
So she changed her ring gear, and she doesn't like that.
The way she acts, I guess. She doesn't like the way she acts.
Or Ruby Riott is a homophobe and was upset that Liv Morgan was involved in a same-sex relationship.
Maybe.
I'm grasping at straws here because they haven't given me any reason. Like, I'm not saying that that's the storyline.
It's not.
Right? No, it probably isn't. But, like, okay, well, were Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan involved in a relationship? And is Ruby Riott upset that Liv Morgan was cheating on her with Lana? Is that what happened? Does any of that make sense to you? I don't know, because they haven't given me any reason as to why Ruby Riott, who was the leader of the Riott Squad featuring Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, who then left due to injury, when she comes back is now attacking Liv Morgan for no reason in particular. And to add to the nonsense, this week when Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan have their match, Sarah Logan, who seemed to have no real opinion at all in this feud, is the special guest referee, so we're supposed to understand that she's torn between her two friends, which isn't really sold very well by anybody involved. Liv Morgan is smiling the whole time. She doesn't seem distraught in any way. It's not going well. And then at the end of the match, Ruby Riott gets into Sarah Logan's face. Sarah Logan pushes Ruby Riott. Liv Morgan rolls her up. Sarah Logan does a fast count. Ruby Riott gets mad. Sarah Logan pushes her down. And then Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan are like, yeah. And then Ruby Riott leaves the ring. And then Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan are together. And then Sarah Logan attacks Liv Morgan for no reason in particular.
No friends. That was apparently the message. There's no friends in the Elimination Chamber.
What happened to the Riott Squad? They were like a team, and now they all hate each other for no reason in particular.
Well, they were only put together because they were the Bizarro Absolution, right? Because remember Paige had a group on SmackDown?
Yes.
And it was just like, oh, we need a group on Raw. So like,
yes.
So they were really just like the default Raw team for the women's division. So like they were never really that important. But I always thought like...
But they're on TV, man. Okay, I'm seeing them. And I'm following what's happening.
Right.
And I want more. I want some information. Because it's like dumb. It doesn't make any sense. Give the characters some motivation. Give us a reason to care. Because I don't want to watch this stuff if it has no rhyme or reason.
The only reason you need is that they were a team and now they're not a team anymore. That's it. Don't think too much further than that. Don't go into who likes who or doesn't like who. It gets too confusing.
When Shawn Michaels threw Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window, I understood because Shawn Michaels was wearing a black leather jacket. He wasn't wearing the fluorescent colors. He didn't want to be a rocker anymore. He wanted to be the Heartbreak Kid, and he was done with Marty Jannetty. And that made sense. There was a reason. I got it. And guess what? It worked.
Okay. Well, there's a reason here too. Maybe it's not as obvious, but it's there. They just don't like each other anymore. They're on the same page.
And none of them.
None of them. Same page.
You see how they do a breakup of a group and how the Elite are handled with Hangman and the Young Bucks and Kenny and that whole relationship and the story they're able to tell?
Well, they never really broke up. So.
No, but I mean, Hangman is still not friends with the Bucks.
Okay, but he never really turned on them in a sense. He still helped them.
He flipped off Matt Jackson after he helped him on AEW this week.
Still helped them, yeah.
Still helped him, but Stone Cold Hangman.
Okay, well, it's a little different.
Hell yeah. Really? He gave a guy a middle finger and then walked into the crowd and started drinking beers.
Everyone gives middle fingers in AEW.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That was pretty Stone Cold.
It's just because of the
cowboy stuff. All right. Let's stick to WWE right now before we go to AEW. I want to talk about AEW in a minute. So the Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan thing, that spilled over into this Elimination Chamber match, and I don't have a ton of faith in any of them.
Okay, that's only half the chamber.
It's half the chamber.
All right.
Glass half empty, glass half full, I guess. The other half is very good. The other half is fantastic.
Yeah.
Natalya, who may be the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
Arguably.
I'd put her up there on my top 5. You talk about Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling?
5, I'm talking number 1. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but she's up there.
Yeah, arguably, yeah.
You know, she may not have been given the accolades in her career, but as far as longevity and quality and, what she's been able to accomplish and kind of move forward and the respect that she has among her peers, Natty Neidhart is she's one of a kind.
Sometimes she can
nobody's been around as long as Natty.
Longevity's great, but sometimes she cuts a good promo, sometimes she doesn't.
Sure. Yeah, but so did Brett.
It depends. Brett's a certain taste in terms of the promos.
Natty's in this match. Shayna Baszler's in this match. Asuka's in this match.
Should be pretty physical.
That's good. Asuka, Shayna, Natty. I'm good with that. The Riot Squad, they're going to have to keep up.
I think Ruby Riott can keep up. I worry more about Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, but Sarah tries at least.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Liv.
I like them all. I think they all have potential, I think they all have a look. They all have a good look.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sarah Logan has shown that she's got some wrestling ability. Ruby Riott's been okay.
Sarah Logan's probably the first one eliminated, though.
Yeah. I think she's the strongest in the ring of the 3.
But least pushed out of all of them.
Yeah. Isn't that always the way?
Unfortunately.
But that Ruby and Liv match on Raw was so bad.
I've seen worse.
Eesh. Yeah, of course, you've seen worse.
Lana and Liv was a lot worse.
Did you see a worse match on Raw, though?
This week, probably no.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fine.
That's all I'm saying.
They have bad ones. It happens.
Yeah. Riddick Moss had a better match this week.
Well, I was surprised.
Which, he beat Ricochet?
That's what really made that match.
What?
Clean, too. No
What?
cheating, no nothing.
What did Ricochet do? He loses to Brock, gets totally squashed, gets 0 offense in, 90 seconds, it's over. And then he goes to Raw, his first Raw since losing his title match, and he loses to Riddick Moss? Who's Riddick Moss?
He's been 24/7 champion for a while now, actually. So
Yeah, for 2 weeks?
maybe 3 now.
He beats Rick O'Shea?
It helps get him over, no?
Rick O'Shea.
He's on the losing path right now. That's his gimmick. I guess he just lost his touch in a sense.
That's good.
Yeah.
Brock ruined him.
Yeah.
Brock showed him what the top level was like, and it just ended him. It's not terrible if that's the storyline, because that kind of does happen in combat sports. People are undefeated, they look really good, and then they face the champion, they get beat to shreds, and then they're never the same. Then they lose their next 5 fights, and you're like, what happened to this guy?
Do you really want to see Ricochet as 24/7 champion?
Sometimes one big loss can ruin you in combat sports, but it's pro wrestling, and Ricochet was a guy that people like.
Still like.
I don't know. I guess the 24/7 title was on the line. Why not see Ricochet as 24/7 title champion? He does parkour and stuff like that. He could be flipping around backstage doing cool stuff.
Okay.
Sure. Give Ricochet something. He's not WWE champion. Honestly, when they had Ricochet versus Riddick Moss on Raw, I was like, okay, well, he didn't win the WWE title, so this is his consolation prize. Wrong.
Oh, I thought a bunch of run-ins, actually, but no, straight up just lost. Wow. Surprise.
And Ricochet didn't even get much in on Riddick Moss.
Well, I thought it was very competitive back and forth. But...
It wasn't that competitive. It was more competitive than his match with Brock, but good God almighty, John. Okay, who's winning the... I mean, what am I even asking you for? Who's women the winning chamber match?
The winning woman for this match is going to be Shayna Baszler.
But of course.
And you?
Well, yeah, man.
Okay.
Shayna. Like, it could be Shayna versus Trish and Lita and Charlotte and like all the top women in the history of the wrestling business. And Shayna's still winning because Shayna and Becky are obviously going to wrestle at WrestleMania. Because Shayna and Becky have been feuding for weeks now. The fact that this match is even happening is an insult to our intelligence.
It's a fun match to watch, though. I think it could be.
Half of it. Prove me wrong, Riot Squad.
You didn't get Shayna and Asuka on Raw, so now you get it at the pay-per-view. I like that. That's pretty good.
I've seen Shayna and Asuka wrestle before for the NXT Championship.
How was that?
Very good.
Well,
You don't remember?
I didn't see
You
that
didn't
one.
see that?
I didn't see that one.
Didn't they wrestle for the NXT title?
I don't remember that. I remember Asuka like never lost, so that doesn't make sense to me. Shayna lost to Asuka already?
Yeah, before Asuka left. Didn't she beat Shayna?
I don't remember that. Maybe she did.
I might be wrong. You're usually right on this stuff. Now when you're like, see, when you question me, maybe you're right. Maybe she never faced Shayna. I guess it was Ember Moon before, because I knew she wrestled somebody, but it was Ember. Maybe it was Ember Moon.
Well, another good reason to watch Elimination Chamber this Sunday, because you actually finally get to see them wrestle each other.
Did Asuka ever wrestle Shayna? Yeah, maybe you're right, John. I felt like Asuka had wrestled Shayna Baszler at some point.
Supposed to this past week, but it didn't happen, unfortunately.
No, you're right, John. I guess I imagined that.
You dreamt it.
NXT Women's Championship. Hold on. Asuka. It was vacated. Shayna won. I guess, no, Shayna never wrestled Asuka.
Well, that's it. Like, it was Asuka as champion, then Shayna was champion, but yeah, she vacated because of injury. If not
Yeah,
mistaken.
they never crossed paths.
Right.
I thought they did. Well, that should be good. I like Shayna and Natty, too. That's interesting.
She'll probably end the match. Well, no, I was going to say end the match with Natty. No, she'll probably end it with Asuka because that's the bigger name in a sense. She's a champion going into this, so pinning her, it's a bigger deal than pinning Natty. Natty, it's a good name to pin, but she'll just be another one she pins.
You think Asuka and Shayna at the end?
Oh, yeah. I think
That's the way to go. Especially since we've never seen it before, even though I feel like we have. I guess I dreamt it.
They're the two
I
best.
see too much wrestling. I'm like, yeah, we've seen that. It's like, oh, no, we haven't. That's cool.
They're the ones where you're like, yeah, I wonder how that would go. So
That's more... Now, forgive me for saying this. That's a bigger match for Mania than Shayna and Becky.
I don't know about that. Becky's been pushed like she's the best of all time, so I disagree with it. Well, you can disagree with that or not. She's being pushed like that, so
I like Becky Lynch. I think she's very good, but I think Asuka is a better wrestler.
fine. But the story is much better with Becky. Becky took care of Ronda. Now this is Ronda's friend coming back for revenge.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
It's a better
And
story.
Shayna beat Becky at Survivor Series too.
There's so much there. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's a great story. It's good. I'm happy with Becky and Shayna. And if you told me that that was going to go on last at WrestleMania, I'd be good with that too.
I doubt it will, but
It could, though.
it'll be one of the
It could, especially if Ronda's involved.
last matches.
Like, I think it's either that or Roman.
Well, it's Roman's hometown, so it should be Roman.
It should be Roman. It should be Roman and Goldberg.
Yes.
Will it be Goldberg's last match?
Does it need to be?
Yes, please. Please.
I mean, if Goldberg keep doing this.
I'd rather see Hulk Hogan at this point.
I think it's kind of cool. He's in the Hall of
I'd
Fame.
much rather see Hulk Hogan.
But in the Hall of Fame, and he's still main eventing WrestleMania. That's pretty awesome. And still the champion. Yeah, everyone can suck it.
How many Hall of Famers are going to be wrestling at WrestleMania this year?
Like 3 or 4? Taker's not in the Hall of Fame yet, right? So
No. But I mean, like, people that are already in there. It used to be when you were in the Hall of Fame, it means you're retired and you don't wrestle anymore. Now,
Kurt Angle did it, right?
Kurt Angle did it. He was the first one.
Okay.
Now there are at least 2, Goldberg and Edge.
Right. Well, it's not official, but yeah.
Yeah, but come on.
It's going to happen, of course.
Randy RKO'd Beth Phoenix on Raw this week, which, by the way, masterful promo from Randall Orton. Beautiful stuff, Randy. Great stuff. Great stuff from Beth. That segment was the best thing on Raw. It was really good. I knew that it was going to happen. Like, I knew he was going to RKO her, all that stuff.
He needed to.
But it was still really good. The promo from Randy, I felt real emotion there. It was great.
Well,
This is a really good story.
I like how Randy threw it in her face where it's like, you're the problem. I'm not the problem. I tried to save him by taking him out.
Yeah, he said that Edge is an addict, and he's trying to save his life because when Randy was in a really dark period in his life, Edge helped him and Edge saved his life. So Randy's trying to return the favor by taking Edge out before he comes back to the ring full time because Edge is an addict. He can't stop wrestling even though he should. And Beth Phoenix is an enabler. And he's like, you wouldn't give a drink to an alcoholic, but you encourage him to go back and chase his dreams of being a wrestler. That was heavy.
And then Beth slapped him.
Beth slapped him. And then what did Randy do after the slap? He didn't do anything, right?
Well, I mean, RKO.
Well, no, he got in her face. She slapped him. And then Randy, I think he mouthed the B word at her. And then she kicked him. She kicked him almost in the groin.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
She slapped him, and then Randy got in her face, and he said the B word, I think, to her.
Right.
Which I'm not going to repeat here because we're on radio, And then Beth kicked him, and then Randy was like, oh, RKO. You trying to kick me in my groin? Wow, RKO.
He was provoked.
But what I didn't like was people in the crowd chanting RKO. Like, how dare you? This is terrible. What's wrong with people?
Well, I mean, the way they kind of sold it, Randy's not the bad guy.
Isn't he, though? Edge is medically cleared to wrestle. He's allowed to wrestle. And Randy attacked him dastardly.
But the way Randy sold it, in Randy's mind, he did a good thing, actually. And
sure.
Beth is a horrible human being.
Well, all the good heels have to believe that they're the good guys in their own mind, right? But we know the truth. Edge is the hero in this story. He will get revenge for his wife. He will get revenge for Kevin Owens. He will get revenge for Matt Hardy. Or are we not going to talk about Matt Hardy anymore? Because by the time they have the match at WrestleMania, he'll probably be in AEW.
Well, I think
I like that he was a big part of this story, but by the time the match happens, you might not want to talk about him anymore.
They won't want to talk about it.
Right.
But
it's funny.
He was a big part of the story. And I don't think he's just going to AEW. I think he's going to go to different feds as well, from what it seems like. He's wrestling this weekend somewhere else. So
he is?
So he's checking out what's there for him.
Okay.
Obviously, AEW is on the list. It's going to happen one day.
We're going to talk about Matt Hardy and why I think he's going to AEW when we come back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. We're going to take a short pause here for the radio side. Stay with us. So much more wrestling still to come. Is a WWE losing a major tag team to AEW? It looks like they are. Big news going on in pro wrestling these days. Stay with us. We got to do a commercial break.
You have to do like 2 commercials, no?
Yeah, John. Let's do one first, and then we'll do another. First, Stitcher. Our friends over at Stitcher. Here at the Ringside Report Network, we've been making podcasts for a long time, and you've been downloading them. Some of you have been using Stitcher to stream or download the shows. Wrestling Uncensored, this show right here. Ringside Report MMA. Are you watching Ringside Report MMA? Do you like MMA? You should be watching Ringside Report MMA or streaming them on Stitcher. Stitcher is offering you the Ringside Report universe as part of the sponsorship of our show, a special offer on the premium version of their service. Now, besides all of our shows, you can listen to over 100,000 podcasts on your iPhone, Android, tablet, PC, Amazon Echo, or in your car, on demand, ad-free, with Stitcher Premium. Joe Rogan Experiences there, Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, so many podcasts, Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more. It's just $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year. You got to go to Stitcher.com/premium. Stitcher.com/premium. Promo code Ringside. Use that promo code Ringside for a free month of the service. Stitcher.com/premium. Just $4.99 a month, $34.99 a year. Use the promo code Ringside. Stitcher.com/premium for a free month. Easy as that.
It's pretty sweet.
And then when you do that, we get a little kickback. Continue paying for our WWE Network and our UFC pay-per-views and everything that we need to pay for here. The lights, the cameras, the microphones, all the little things that go into producing these programs here for you. So thank you and keep supporting our sponsors.
Your collection of toys, little Nintendo things you see, figurines. Amiibo was the word I was looking for.
No, that's not where that goes to.
Oh, okay. Because it's part of the show. We always see this now, so I thought.
Yeah. No, the show money goes to the show stuff. You know, the lights you see and everything. All the, the
Razzle dazzle.
The razzle dazzle, baby. Multicam setup, baby. Look at this. We can even move it around. You want to move it around? Want to get lower? Get low.
It's not quite a Vanguard 1, but it's a work in progress.
Ah, yes. I like it. Dave Cam. Forget Johnny.
I'm there.
Wait a second. Where
you
is
can
it?
see me. Now you see Dave's hand.
Yeah, my hand cam. Hand cam.
Yucky.
I like it. It's the Dave Cam. It's the side cam.
Yeah, it's more of a side cam than a Dave cam. But...
Side cam. Side cam. Okay. Should we do another ad here?
I think so.
Check out our buddies over at IPVanish. What you want to do is go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. That's vpn.ringsidereport.net. Do you have a VPN? Are you safe on the internet? You need to be safe on the internet because the internet is a scary place. You could get hacked. Bad things could happen to you. Are you using a cell phone or tablet or laptop on public Wi-Fi? If you are, you need a VPN to protect yourself. You need IPVanish. We've been using IPVanish for a few years now, and we're very satisfied. There's hackers out there, and they're looking to steal your information, steal your passwords, credit card info, whatever you got on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop. Hackers could get to that. You could even watch things from different locations if you're geo-blocked. You ever see a video that says, hey, this video is not available in your location? Well, with a secure VPN like IPVanish, you'd be able to watch all that stuff from any type of location. So you go to vpn.ringsidereport.net, subscribe to IPVanish. It's a low price. It's something that you need. I have it on all my devices. We all have it, and it's necessary to stay safe. We don't want to get hacked, and we use IPVanish to make sure that we don't. vpn.ringsidereport.net. Go there right now, and that will let IPVanish know that we sent you. Thank you.
Don't get hacked. It's good. Good message.
Don't get hacked and watch things from anywhere, if you know what I mean.
If you have time.
Okay. If you have time.
I mean, you got to watch us first, right? So
Yes, and you don't need a VPN to watch us, although you probably should have one just to stay safe.
well, if you're using public Wi-Fi, yeah.
If you're using public Wi-Fi, you need a VPN. If you're watching us on public Wi-Fi right now and you're like, whoa, wait a second. I'm on public Wi-Fi. Well, get a VPN. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, don't trust McDonald's
VPN.ringsidereport.net. IP vanish.
or any of those like coffee places.
That's right. Don't trust any of those places. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin said, don't trust anybody. DTA. Let's talk about Stone Cold Hangman Page, shall we?
Okay.
Okay. All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. RingsideReport.net is the website. Go there. Watch Elimination Chamber with us. The video will be available on our YouTube channel. Also available at RingsideReport.net. Also streaming on Facebook Live. All our videos are on our Facebook page. You can go like the Facebook page. Just search Ringside Report in Facebook, and you could find everything that we do there. We are always streaming live while we're on YouTube. We're also on Facebook Live. So many different places to watch us. I know a lot of people have started to watch us on Facebook. That seems like a popular place where people are watching videos. So I know I talk about the YouTube a lot, but shout out to everybody watching us on Facebook Live as well.
That's cool. It's cool. It's a lot of access to just one video.
There's a lot of access to the show. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Facebook Live, YouTube, RingsideReport.net, and more.
It's pretty sweet.
Stitcher, right?
Right? It's
So many
great.
places. On the radio, right? We're on your radios all over the place, all over in Canada. So Ringside Report Network, Wrestling Uncensored. We're here for you, providing you all the wrestling and mixed martial arts content that you need. Now, Matt Hardy put a video out last week.
Yes.
And at the end of the video, the executive vice presidents of AEW appeared, the Young Bucks. Or as Matt Hardy said, the Bucks of Youth. I knew you'd come.
Now,
Ah, yes. I knew you'd come.
if you watched Being the Elite this week, they received a phone call
Yeah.
and like, oh, we have to go somewhere. And that tied in to the Matt Hardy video.
Yeah.
So that was kind of really neat. I thought.
Very cool.
So clearly they're going to do something in the future.
Matt Hardy's going to AEW.
Yeah, but like, is he going to sign a contract? Will he appear? I think he will appear. But is he there full time? Hard to say.
Don't know. But I think it's safe to say he will be appearing for AEW soon
But will he be the exalted one that everyone believes he'll be?
for the Dark Order.
Right.
I don't know.
They say he's coming.
The Dark Order says that the Exalted One's arrival is imminent. Now, could the Exalted One be Raven?
Easily could be Raven, yeah.
Because Raven was, at one point, the Dark Order was like, the Exalted One is always watching.
Right.
And then Raven was like in the front row of the AEW show, and no one mentioned Raven.
Well, it had nothing to do with the show, so it made
Did
sense.
it have nothing to do with the show? Are you sure?
For now, it doesn't.
But at the time when Raven was there, why was Raven front row sitting like right behind the Dark Order guy?
No, he wanted to be there.
Okay. Sure. I mean, that may be true, but it was kind of weird that it was like, the Exalted One's always watching, the Exalted One, and then here's the Dark Order, and then sitting behind him is Raven, and a lot of people are like, well, is Raven the Exalted One? And it would make a lot of sense, because if you know the Raven character, like, it would fit in as the leader of the Dark Order.
It would.
He was kind of like a cult-like figure, right?
Right.
Raven's flock.
Of course, yes, without question. Like, he was like the 90s kind of like grunge kind of guy. But
And he also had a cult
yeah,
in WCW.
with the flock. Yeah, for sure. Even a bit in ECW somewhat. But Raven, he's kind of limited now in wrestling. I don't think he'd wrestle that much. The way they hyped this Exalted One, it feels like he needs to wrestle because they've hyped it so much.
Does he? Or does he just need to be a mouthpiece? AEW seems to like bringing in legends to manage some of the younger talent, to help coach some of the younger talent.
Well,
Raven wouldn't be a bad idea. The guy, smart mind for wrestling, great promos. They just brought in Jake the Snake. I know Raven and Jake the Snake had a relationship, right? Didn't Raven get taught a lot of stuff from Jake, or was that all a gimmick? Was that real? You remember that angle where Raven and DDP were kind of feuding over Jake the Snake's love?
vaguely remember.
Do you remember
this.
that? That was a deal where it was oh, these guys were both trained by Jake the Snake, and now they're fighting each other. There was they had a history, they were trained together, and now they're.
I remember Tommy Dreamer and Raven feuding over who had a better DDT and who could impress Jake the most with their DDT. I remember that.
There's always been a connection there with Jake and Raven.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't rule out Raven as the Exalted One. He might be the Exalted One. Will Matt Hardy be the Exalted One? Maybe, man. It could be Matt Hardy, too. I don't know.
Well, Matt Hardy's a bigger deal, I think, right now in wrestling than Raven is. So I think Matt Hardy would be a better fit. And Matt Hardy could actually wrestle more often, I would think.
But Matt Hardy seems to be friends with the Bucks of Youth, and the Dark Order, they don't like the Bucks of Youth. And if Matt Hardy is the Exalted One, why would he be directing the Dark Order to be attacking his friends, the Young Bucks?
Matt Hardy works in mysterious ways.
And Matt Hardy, broken Matt Hardy, he's kind of a babyface, and the Dark Order, they're kind of heels.
Right. But remember when he originally started with the broken gimmick, it was a heel.
I guess.
It's just he got so over, it's we got to turn face. He was the heel against Brother Nero.
I don't know if Matt Hardy... I think he's probably the best choice to be the Exalted One for the Dark Order. If you're going to find a guy, Matt Hardy would be pretty good as the guy.
Right.
But I think if Matt Hardy comes into AEW, the best thing for him would to be just Matt Hardy.
Well, as long as
I think he could do more as just broken Matt Hardy.
Right.
Woken, whatever.
Well, Woken was WWE.
Woken WWE, so broken.
Right. Well, maybe it's Lance Archer, right? Help him get it off to a good start right away.
Yeah.
He was supposed to debut this week. He did not. So
he doesn't fit, though.
He doesn't, but it would
He
help
doesn't
him.
fit as the Exalted One of the Dark Order. He doesn't run that kind of gimmick, Lance Archer. When you see him, you understand. Although his whole thing is everybody dies. So
Right. So that could work.
He's big. He's mean. He screams everybody dies. He spits on people. He's rough. I don't think he fits in as the Exalted One for the Dark Order.
Well, for me,
I think Raven is a good bet, man.
I just feel like the Exalted One, I look at this like a video game, like a lot of AEW guys would look at this. Exalted One's more of a final boss. You have Uno and Grayson, they're the mini bosses. So the final boss has to be kind of tough. To me, Archer, that would be pretty tough to get through that.
Yeah. You know who it would be really cool? If Hulk Hogan was the Exalted One, brother, the third man. It's Terry, and he's evil.
It was cool that Jake the Snake Roberts showed up in AEW.
It'd be bigger than Hogan as the third man in the NWO. If he's the Exalted One, people would freak out.
No, we don't need Hogan in all this.
That'd be great.
Though I am looking for...
I would love it.
Jake apparently has a guy with him, right? Because he confronted Cody.
Yes, so Jake the Snake Roberts did appear on AEW Dynamite this week. Cody starts cutting a promo, and Jake the Snake comes out, and Cody seems like he's happy that Jake's there, but he's soon not happy that Jake is there because Jake starts running him down, and he says he's not here to take everything in AEW. He's just here to take everything that Cody has, and he doesn't like Cody, and he doesn't like Cody's old man, and all this stuff. And Jake's going to bring somebody in real soon that's going to take out Cody. A lot of people think it's going to be Luke Harper. I do too.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Makes so much sense. Harper, big guy, good wrestler, needs somebody to talk for him. And Jake, he kind of looks like a big Jake too.
Yeah, kind of looks like him, and it'd help because I don't know if. Well, Harper, I felt like he had some good promos sometimes, but again, not consistent.
Yeah.
Jake is very consistent.
And if Jake is the lead on the promo and Harper's kind of, saying some words here and there,
Right.
over time, he'll get a lot better working with Jake Roberts.
Oh, without question. I mean, Jake should be the promo guy teacher for AEW.
Yeah, his promo was great this week. It was scary. I was like, oh, man, Cody, you're in trouble, man. Jake Roberts is here. And I was also watching it thinking, I wonder how many people watching AEW right now are like, who's this guy?
No, I think a lot of people know that Jake is like, they know old Jake, I think. They don't know maybe so much the wrestler, but this guy's been struggling. He used to wrestle, and he's trying to make a comeback, but it's not working out. WWE won't give him an opportunity, and then finally he got it. So a lot of people remember Beyond the Mat. I know it seems like it was like 20 years ago, but
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of wrestling fans right now that are maybe in their 20s that don't really know who Jake Roberts is. Younger wrestling fans, teenage wrestling fans, 20-year-old wrestling fans. We're old, John. We've been around a long time.
yeah, but Jake's had more like press on him. They had more like videos done, like docs on him. So
Yeah.
I feel a lot more people know about Jake. His struggles anyways, maybe not so much the career.
I know there were people, when Arn Anderson came out, they're like, who's Arn Anderson?
Right? I loved how Jake dissed Arn Anderson. That was great.
Yeah, that was great. It's going to be fantastic seeing Jake and Arn Anderson hopefully cut promos on each other. That'll be fun. Dynamite this week I thought was good. The Jon Moxley promo,
You didn't like it?
I don't know, man.
Well,
I don't
Jericho's
know.
great.
Did
Like,
you? Yeah, Jericho was good. I said Jon Moxley. I don't know if you heard
Okay.
me, John. I said Jon Moxley. I didn't say Chris Jericho.
Yeah, but Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho promo because like they went against each other. So
Jon Moxley is much better than Dean Ambrose,
okay, sure, fine.
but as a world champion, I'm not sure. That promo was weak. Comes out, thank you, AEW fans, for believing in AEW and believing in pro wrestling, not sports entertainment. Ooh, yeah, ooh, so edgy. Like, okay, dude. I'm going to climb every mountain to defend this title. I'm going to be a fighting champion. I was like, am I watching Jon Moxley or John Cena?
I think he actually believes what he says.
It was
though. Like,
very much I'm the champion, like me, I'm here to pander to the crowd promo. And
but he meant it though. Like,
okay, so what? Still sucked.
well, again, it
Wasn't entertaining.
but it wasn't the main part of the promo. The main part of the promo was Jericho coming out.
And running him down.
Yeah,
And it was great. Jericho comes out. I don't need a belt to be le champion.
yes, he does, but whatever. Like,
No, he doesn't.
they chanted, "Yes, he does." Yes, you do.
And Jericho also said that the Moxley era sucks ass.
That was a good line.
That was a great one. Jericho's promo was great. Jericho's so good.
He made me believe he was going to leave too at the end of Dynamite.
Really?
Well, I thought he was going to lose.
Was that the deal? If he lost, he...
If Moxley was still standing by the end of the show, he'd leave for 60 days.
Okay, well, that didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen, thankfully.
Jericho and Sammy Guevara in the main event beat Darby Allin and Jon Moxley, although Moxley wasn't in the match.
Because he got jumped before the match started.
Yeah, Jake Hager and Santana and Ortiz beat him up before the match. So Jericho and Guevara just beat up on Darby Allin, eventually won. Moxley did show up after the match and took people out for a bit, but then the Inner Circle beat him up, and then they powerbombed him off the stage through a table, and then the Inner Circle all posed on the stage to end the show. So this Jericho-Moxley thing isn't done. I assume they'll have another match for the title. I don't think it's going to be...
Double or nothing.
No, I don't think it's going to be the next pay-per-view, which is going to be in May, like May 23rd or something. So I think they're going to do it on TV.
Probably
Which-
March 25th.
Why do you say March 25th? No, it's not even WrestleMania week. I would say April 1st. Honestly, I would do it April 1st, WrestleMania week.
No, it'll be March 25th.
Why?
Because that's going to be Blood and Guts.
Oh, yeah. But what does that even mean?
It's like they're war games.
War Games!
But they call it Blood and Guts because they can't call it war games.
Oh, so you think it's going to be March 25th in Newark, New Jersey? That's a big arena, too. I think they're doing a Prudential Center.
There you go.
So, okay. I could see that. They're going to do Blood and Guts. They're going to do one match. It's going to be 2 rings, 1 big cage, right? War game style.
Right.
I could see Jericho getting a rematch with Moxley on that card. Okay. Maybe no holds barred type of match. Blood and Guts.
We'll have to find out next week, right? Because they got to announce that soon enough, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, they don't have. They have 2 shows before the Blood and Guts, right? They have this week. They're going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah. Next week they're going to be in Rochester, New York, and then the 25th of March they'll be in Newark, New Jersey, and then the 1st of April in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And Rochester, I think that's when Luke Harper's supposed to debut.
Well, that is, yeah. Jake said that on the 18th he's going to bring somebody in, right?
Well, there you go.
And I think Harper is from Rochester.
He is.
So that makes a lot of sense. Elsewhere, for AEW, other than, former WWE superstar Luke Harper, who I think was, what was his indie name?
Brody Lee.
Brody Lee. He'd probably be Brody Lee again, right?
I guess. Why not?
Matt Hardy probably going to AEW. And also, I was a bit surprised by this, the Revival. Apparently pretty much done with WWE. They have a month left on their deal, and they want to go over to AEW.
Yeah, but I think one of them was injured, so they might extend. So it might actually be longer, unfortunately.
Okay, but they're pretty much good as gone. I feel like a lot of people are leaving WWE. Where's Rusev?
Well, he hasn't re-signed.
Where's Bobby Lashley?
Lashley wasn't there because Lana's filming a movie with Bruce Willis. So
Really?
yeah.
Good for Lana.
Yeah, it's fantastic, no?
That's awesome. Good for Lana. Hopefully she finds success in movies, because I don't think wrestling is her thing.
Well, she wants to wrestle more, so
Yeah.
maybe it's better you don't get what you want sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. The Revival going to AEW, eventually, that's going to be massive. Like, if they could do Revival versus the Young Bucks, Double or Nothing, May 23rd, Las Vegas, that's money.
Wait and see, right?
Cody Rhodes is going to wrestle Ortiz on Dynamite this Wednesday.
That should be pretty good.
Cody wants revenge because, there was a whole deal on Dynamite this week. So it was QT Marshall versus Jake Hager.
Well, you know how that went.
And by the way, Jake Hager winning with a standing arm triangle choke. Again, this seems to be his finishing move. I don't like this finishing move.
I can't wait until he does it in Bellator. It's going to be amazing.
He couldn't. It wouldn't work. That's why I don't like the move.
Right?
It's not. I mean, the arm triangle choke is a legitimate move, but the guy needs to be on his back.
Brock did that, if I'm not mistaken.
Brock did it. I think Hager did it too in Bellator. He used it in one of his Bellator fights.
Okay.
Brock did it to Shane Carwin, if you remember.
I do.
Right? Classic fight. That's Brock's best fight by far. Took a vicious beating in the first, came back and beat Carwin in the second with a submission. Most impressive performance of his UFC career. Arm triangle choke is a legitimate jiu-jitsu technique. But standing up, good luck finishing anybody with a standing arm triangle choke. I may be wrong. There may be some black belts out there who could correct me, but I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can finish anybody, especially anybody who knows anything, with a standing arm triangle choke. I have never seen it, and I've been grappling myself as a jiu-jitsu and wrestling guy for many years, watching a lot of combat sports. I've been in this for most of my life. I've never seen anybody finished in a real fight with a standing arm triangle choke. So, I've seen standing guillotines. Standing chokes are hard to come by. Like, I'm trying to think of a standing choke that actually, standing guillotine. It's about it. Sometimes a guy will kind of sink in a rear naked choke from standing, but usually they fall down to finish it. Unless you backpack a guy, unless you jump on a guy's back.
That's different, though. It's not the same.
No. But what Hager's doing, I don't like it. I don't know. I just, when I see that stuff, I'm like, come on, man. Standing arm triangle? Really?
Well, he's the professional, right? So he knows what he's doing.
Maybe he thinks he can finish guys with that. Maybe he's done it in the practice room. I mean, he's a big, strong guy.
Right.
If Jake Hager grabbed a hold of my arm, here, let me just demonstrate on you for a second. You're gigantic,
without breaking
John.
stuff.
Without
please.
breaking stuff, without breaking anybody here. Come here, Johnny. So, standing arm triangle. So, if you're listening to this on radio, you won't be able to see what we're doing here, obviously, because you're listening. But if you're watching, you can see what I'm about to do here to Big Johnny. So, standing arm triangle here. I'll be coming around here. Here, right? Now
Snug.
It's snug, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I squeeze tight, sure. But if you start to defend,
Like fight?
if you start to fight out, it's snug, and I could probably. I don't want to put you to sleep here, okay? So I'm not gonna really squeeze in. But if somebody's trying to defend that type of choke,
Right.
they're gonna fight out if a standing position because you don't have enough leverage. But if he's on his back and you're in the right spot, if you're in a side control position or a full mount sometimes, yes, you'll be able to finish that hold. It's a legitimate technique, but not standing up. But because wrestling is a show and standing up it looks better, that's how he's doing it. But because if he were doing it lying down, well, you wouldn't be able to see QT Marshall's face in agony. It doesn't look as impressive. And also, he'd be pinned to the mat at the same time, so what's the point?
Maybe that's the main reason.
So how about don't use an arm triangle as your submission, Jake Hager? But whatever, dude. It's a little thing for me, and it doesn't really matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. Hager's effective. He's a big, strong guy. The move looks impressive, and that's all that really counts in pro wrestling. So Dustin Rhodes jumps in to the match after Hager submits QT Marshall. Dustin Rhodes shows up to save Marshall because Hager was holding on to the choke. And then Santana and Ortiz show up from the inner circle. They beat up on Dustin. Cody makes the save for his brother, which I think might be the next direction for Cody, teaming with his brother for a little while.
I thought a six-man tag was going to happen, but I guess not.
We might see Cody and his brother as the next challengers to Kenny and Hangman.
But Cody's probably going to do something with Jake, right? So
maybe.
I don't know.
Well, so Cody shows up. He takes a chair shot from Ortiz. Matt Jackson shows up. He makes the save, but he starts fighting with Hager, and Hager slams him. And then Hager and Santana and Ortiz put a beating on Matt Jackson. Where was Nick? Oh, Nick Jackson's wife is about to give birth, so that's why he wasn't a third kid. So that's why he's not on Dynamite, right?
Well, they didn't say that, but yes, we know that.
Well, Nick Jackson didn't show up. Kenny Omega also wasn't on Dynamite, and I'm not sure why.
I think it was more because he's all beat up. He said he was beat up on being the Elite.
Oh, okay.
Wrestled that Iron Man match, then that tag match. I get it.
So Kenny's not there. So the Inner Circle is beating up on Matt Jackson, one half of the Young Bucks, on Cody and Dustin Rhodes. Hangman Page shows up and saunters to the ring. Just walking as slow as can be, drinking a beer, right?
Pretty casual.
Super casual, as his friends are getting beat up. Or, I guess they're his friends. I don't know.
I think Cody's his friend.
I guess. And then Hangman puts his beer down on the ring post. The crowd's going crazy for Hangman. They're like, yeah, Hangman. Like,
I love him.
Hangman, I think, is the most over guy in AEW right now.
Moxley, but yeah, sure.
Really?
Yes.
Hangman's my champion. Anyways, Hangman shows up, and he decides, all right, now I'm going to beat up these guys. Takes out Santana, takes out Ortiz, takes out Hager, all by himself, 3-on-1. It's all Hangman.
Yep.
Okay? Then picks up his beer, finishes the beer. Matt Jackson's like, hey, Hangman, thanks for helping us, And, Hangman with Kenny. Hangman's had his issues with the Young Bucks. And Hangman then flips off Matt Jackson and walks away and finds another beer from the crowd and keeps drinking beer. I mean, that was pretty stone cold of him, if you ask me. That was a pretty stone cold moment, and I loved it. Give me a hell yeah. I thought that was fantastic. Okay, you're drinking a beer, walking to the ring. You're taking on 3 guys at once, no fear, taking them all out with ease. You're flipping off a guy who you just helped, and then you walk off drinking more beer because you're in it for yourself because you're Stone Cold Hangman Page. Give me a hell yeah.
It's kind of Austin, little-ish.
It's very Austin. It's very Austin-like, and I have no problem with it. I think it's great. It works. It works.
I feel like he was already drinking before this, so he just kind of went to the ring like, oh, well, I'll get into a fight, whatever. Austin's more like, no, I'm going to go there and raise hell. This is more like, well, this could be fun. We'll see what happens. And, it did work out for him, but I don't know if he really planned that out in terms of his character anyways.
It was pretty awesome. It was a pretty great moment. Hangman looking very cool on Dynamite this week. Very cool.
He's got a great character going on right now.
Amazing.
It's funny because a lot of people don't like that he has like a drunken character, but I think a lot of people think it's really awesome. It's interesting.
He's a cowboy. He does what he wants. Pac beat Chuck Taylor this week with a brutalizer. Trent and Orange Cassidy showed up in the ring afterwards to stop Pac from destroying their friend Chuck Taylor, but then the Lucha Brothers show up, take out the best friends in Orange Cassidy, and then Pac cut a post-match promo and said that they are now a group known as the Death Triangle, or as the Lucha Brothers would say, Triángulo de la Muerte. And I'm going to call them the Triángulo de la Muerte because I think that sounds way better. And also, I have Cero Miedo.
Good for you.
Cero Miedo!
Ugh, not the hand. But I think that's the 6-man tag for next week.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be good.
Should be.
I love the Triángulo de la Muerte. Those guys are awesome. I feel like they're the Bizarro Kenny and the Bucks.
It is
like
weird,
Kenny
though.
and the Bucks against the Triángulo de la Muerte is going to be a big-time match down the road.
It's just odd. Like,
It's going to be huge.
They're very good wrestlers. It's just odd, like, they're being put together. Like, I
like it. I understand it because they're just as good as the Bucks. They're just and he's just as good as Kenny, but they're not getting the same love because they don't run the show. They're not the elite. They're the bad guys, and they want their spot, and they're sick of being looked over. And I get it, man. I get it.
Pac's like what, the number 2 or 3 contender? Like, he's not that far off. I feel like
MJF is the number 1 contender, or Jericho's the number 1 contender. I think MJF is number 2.
Okay, but Pac's not that far off. If anything, I think Pac's going to get a title shot at the pay-per-view.
MJF cut a promo about Jon Moxley this week.
But everybody, if not mistaken.
A lot of Moxley stuff, a lot about becoming the next champion in AEW.
Yeah, I could see it one day he'll get a title shot. But
I could see him being the guy at Double or Nothing.
It seems too soon. I think maybe
he just
All
beat
Out.
Cody.
I still think it's too soon. I think he needs another big win, then Moxley.
By the way, I really like that Cody lost to MJF, and now it's kind of over, but it's not.
Well, they could wrestle again. Why not?
But they're not going to. Because that it happened, the result, and if you have another match between those guys in 6 months to a year, it'll mean so much. But if you do it next week on Dynamite, it'll mean nothing.
Right.
WWE would have MJF win on pay-per-view, and then it would have Cody win the next night on Raw to kind of even things out. AEW doesn't need to do that. MJF won. We all know what happened. He cheated to win. But he won, and now MJF and Cody can wrestle again in like a year, and Cody can get his revenge, and it'll be such a moment. And that's the long-term booking of AEW that I think people were getting they were getting antsy, because the company's still in its infancy, and you're like, come on, let's get on with it. But as time is going on, I think we saw a great development of a long-term story with the Hangman Kenny versus Bucks match. It culminated in this great match, this great moment, this great story that was told during the match. You're really seeing this long-term story planning come to fruition, and we're seeing some magical stuff now in AEW, and I think it's only getting better. Like they keep saying, We're only getting started. We're just getting started? We're only getting started.
Only getting started,
Yeah.
I think, anyways. But they have another 6-man, I think, for next week. I think it's supposed to be MJF with the Blade and the Butcher
Yes.
against Jurassic Express.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
A lot of 6-mans they have announced.
I got no problems. And also, they're going to announce the rules to Blood and Guts this Wednesday on Dynamite.
And who will wrestle in it, I hope? Like, how it will work exactly?
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to announce the rules. They didn't say anything about the participants.
I imagine.
I think we'll have to wait.
I would think the Elite would be in it, no? You need a big group, right?
I don't know. We don't know. I mean, is this a one-on-one match? It's got to be multiple people, but how many people are in this match? We have no idea what the rules are. We have to find out on Dynamite in Salt Lake City.
Well, just taking a guess here, because like it feels like you need a long-term grudge that's been going on. I feel the Elite against the Dark Order makes the most sense.
Maybe the Exalted One will finally appear.
Okay, sure, fine.
Hope so. All right, Big Johnny. We're 4 weeks away from WrestleMania. Elimination Chamber is coming up. Watch the Elimination Chamber watch along on our YouTube channel. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. When you do, you can always click the bell to get the notifications every time we are on. Hit that super chat so we can see your questions. We can answer any question, any topic. You go to the YouTube, you hit the super chat. Anything you want us to talk about, we'll do it through that super chat on the Elimination Chamber. Watch along, ringsidereport.net for more info on that. You can watch our UFC 248 watch along as well. There is so much going on the Ringside Report Network, and there's a lot going on in the world of Johnny North inside the professional wrestling ring. Johnny, when can people see you beating people up?
It's going to be March 29th at the Torture Chamber Pro Wrestling Dojo, 2 p.m. bell time. I'm in a tag team match. I don't know who yet I'm wrestling with, but I know I'm wrestling with Bjork. I don't know who we're against, though.
You and Bjork against 2 other people. In a tag team match, playa, March 29th. For more info on that, follow him on Twitter at North Genesis, on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You could follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. RingsideReport.net is the website. Thanks to everybody helping us out on the radio side, and a big thanks to you for listening and watching. For Johnny North, I'm Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah.
Yeah.